You are listening to the Atlanta Real Estate Forum radio show, all about real estate edition, shining a light on the movers and shakers in the real estate industry, the home builders, developers, realtors, and suppliers making it all happen. And now, here are today's hosts.
Good morning and welcome back to the All About Real Estate edition. I am your host, Todd Schick, joined by my friend and colleague, Carol Morgan. Before we kick things off, we do want to thank New American Funding for being our 2021 show sponsor, now our 10th year on the air. It has been divine having them as our partner this year and looking forward to more collaboration with them. All right, Carol, boy, this is a subject that you and I have been dying to learn more about over all these years, and we've kind of really dove in this month. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to be a really cool conversation, neat company.
I'm excited. You know, I like to talk about shipping containers and how we can use them differently. So we're joined today in studio by two folks that can really help us take a deep dive and tell us more about what they're doing. So I'd like to welcome Majesty Gayle. He is the CEO and Director of Real Estate. And then Elize Gayle, who's the Chief Marketing Officer, and they are with Evo Group Holdings. So welcome so much to the show. And Elize, we're just going to let you jump in and give us an overview of Evo Group Holdings and your mission.
Hey, well, Evo Group Holdings builds sustainable developments, focusing on container developments at the moment. Our company comprises of products like the Evo Haven, residential properties, Evo Opportunity Fund, and our nonprofit arm, Push Ministry.
I would just say our company is committed to going into the most distressed, neglected areas and beautifying them. That's what our mission has always been about. There's been a few different ways that we've decided to use to reach those goals, like the nonprofit that helps with the affordable housing. While, the Evo Opportunity Fund focuses more on sustainable housing, which unfortunately right now still has high upfront costs. So we're working to kind of try to marry the two. But right now we're working two angles at once.
Yeah, no, we were chatting before we went live, and everything you guys got going on. It's just what an exciting time to be in the thick of this. And we're still early enough in this ball game where there's still a huge opportunity ahead of us, and Lord knows where it's really all going to go. It's kind of exciting, and we have had the pleasure of chatting with a few folks dabbling in the space, and everyone has a little different angle, right? Some are really focused on the sustainability effort of this. Some are really focused on addressing the affordable housing needs, but there is a way to marry both of that, and that's particularly exciting. So, gosh, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, there's so many neat things you guys are up to. I guess where I want to start is with Evo Haven and recycling these containers. So I guess we'll just start it there. Kind of what's the lowdown there? What's Evo Haven and what does that all entail?
But Evo Haven is the actual product that we create. So every development that we undertake is basically Evo Haven at the street name. So that's the product, the name of the product, almost like Big Mac. And we decided to commit to the sustainable aspect. Actually, coming out of the pandemic, we were looking at options to help with green building, and containers just seemed to be the obvious choice because of popularity, because of the recycled material aspect, and honestly, they make construction simpler than a traditional stick built, only because they're just mathematically true. So it's very easy to kind of do takeoffs and things like that. And also, it's more of a cookie cutter approach than an individual. With stick built, every property is different. But with these, we kind of have a Legos type approach to it. So, we thought it was pretty cool. We also decided to incorporate renewable energy sources into our developments as well. We saw where things were going with electric vehicles. Also saw where things were going with the proposals coming from the government, as far as, the trillions of dollars that they're going to be putting into that space. So it just made a lot of sense. And you know, I was telling her maybe about a week ago, it was 52 degrees in hot Atlanta in May. So,
Yeah.
you know, there's some things that I think we all should probably discuss. You know, so it just seemed to make sense. And then them being wildly popular. And then right now with the cost of lumber going insane, not to say that the price of everything isn't going insane, but the container aspect does help to save some cost on the lumber, you know, issues.
Yeah, gosh, you bring up so many good points. And I have so many questions, but you know, I guess first I just kind of wonder, are you building shipping container homes, you know, speculatively, or are you building them all and they're all pre-sold, or how does that part of it work?
I'll let her talk the market.
Well, when we first released our renderings, there's already been buzz around container homes with popular shows on networks and things of that nature. So there's a lot of people who have been looking to build their own container home, but they have certain hurdles that they have to get across, like zoning and finding land, and then the cost of land, and then what does that look like to even hire a contractor, a construction team. And that's a lot of responsibility for somebody who just wants to purchase a home and move in and wants it to be a container home, a sustainable home, a beautiful home at that. So what we've been able to do is combine all of those efforts for our customer. And so that has led to an immense amount of pre-sales and thousands of inquiries, and obviously opportunities such as this to speak about our product. So there's an immense amount of interest around what we do, but not only around, you know, just building container homes, but the whole process from A to Z and how we deliver it to customers. So.
Yeah, we have a waiting list of roughly thousands of. so we could never build as much as we could sell. So it's not speculative in that sense. Everything's kind of pre-sold before we even start building.
Well, I'm thrilled to hear that there's a waiting list. I think that speaks a lot to what this represents, what the potential is. I'm just going to go off script here. I'm curious about the makeup of that waiting list. Is it people that just it's something new and exciting, and I want to be on the forefront? Is it people who are really focused on sustainable living? Is it people who are looking for a more affordable option? Is it some hybrid of all that? I'm just curious what's making up. I mean, I'm thrilled to hear there's thousands on a waiting list, but I'm just curious how what makes up that list.
That's a great question, because sometimes we ask ourselves that, or we ask the people on the list, you know, what is your interest? Sometimes it almost seems, and I don't mean to go on a tangent, but spiritual, because they'll say things like, I've dreamed of having a container home. So I don't know even what motivated them to be interested in living in a container home. But definitely, I would say right now, no, not the affordable aspect, just with where the market is. It's not people looking for an affordable option. There's just, unfortunately, not enough of those that exist right now. So the profile of the interested prospect, they actually are willing to pay a premium.
Yes.
For the bill. So
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, how long? Yeah, how long does construction usually take? And if somebody comes to you and they have a lot or they have land, can you build on their lot?
Well, construction of just one unit takes about anywhere between about 4 to 6 months, and that's all dependent on the city, of course.
Right.
When it comes to permitting or whatnot. So if we were able to get permits quickly, it may even be a little shorter, but I'd say 6 months to be safe. And that's just on a scatter lot build or an infill development. On a community development, the entire community takes us about anywhere from 15 to 18 months to complete. And these are smaller communities, anywhere between about 20 to 35, maybe max 40 units in the community. So, you know, it doesn't take too long.
Comment for a second, if you will, on this permitting process and how local government is responding to this. This is new.
That's a good one.
I do my best.
In their reference book, there's not a lot of historical data they can reference and kind of say, oh, that's how we used to do that. I mean, so kind of, which is part of the challenge, I suspect, but also kind of exciting that we're kind of writing this as we go and and can almost craft this in a way that's going to allow us to be agile and mobile and move quickly, more quickly than perhaps is usual. But comment on that process. I mean, I imagine there's some people who are saying you're building with what?
I'll let you comment, but to your point, it is exciting to be on the forefront, trailblazing side of this type of development and working with governments as well, and helping them shape what that's going to look like. But I'll let you expound.
It's very polarizing. It reminds me of politics, because it's one extreme way this way, one extreme way this way. Some jurisdictions prohibit the use of containers as building materials. So that's typically on the outskirts of the major cities and further out. And when you get to the rural, they don't necessarily care what you do. But the cities, the metropolitan cities, are adopting it, pretty significantly. And honestly, they're very supportive. We have a great relationship with the city, the building department, zoning, all of that. They're rooting for us. They need more housing, and they like the sustainability idea as well. They're aware of the issues when it comes to sustainability, specifically for metropolitan cities. Like LA with the smog and all that good stuff. So it's real, a 50-50, one way to either love it or hate it. But so far, so good. We haven't gotten, too many negative comments, and most jurisdictions are very open to anything that will bring product to their jurisdiction.
Understood. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the product itself, floor plans, interior finishes, what all's possible, and, kind of what are you offering as standards there?
Got you. As far as standards, I mean, it's pretty obvious where everything you're seeing with new builds and flips and things like that, from
stainless steel, hardwoods, matte black finishes, bronze, if you're into that type of thing. But
the goal is for them to be smart,
contemporary, clean finishes, and then also the appliances as well, the sustainable appliances, electric, things of that nature, solar energy powered, and things of that nature.
So tile, hardwoods, standard what you're seeing right now. We're not trying to kind of be too
But those finishes sound like those are the current hot trends,
We kind of
clean
with
palettes, neutral colors, and of course, if you want, custom items, then we can facilitate that as well.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. So, first it was all gold and beige, and then it was gray, and now it's all white. So
it is.
What's next? I don't know.
Think you need 20% down to become a homeowner? Think again. What if you could buy a home without a down payment? That's right. New American Funding understands that saving for a down payment can be difficult. They have competitive loan programs that can get you into a new home. Their 100% FHA financing loan program makes getting into a new home with no down payment possible. Let one of their home loan professionals pre-qualify you. Contact a New American Funding loan officer today to find out more about these niche loan programs and start your home ownership journey. For more information, call 678-898-3540. That's 678-898-3540.
I want to hear about this Evo Haven. Is it Daytona? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's a new green community. I think South Fulton. That sounds intriguing. Tell us what's happening there.
That project right there is about 50% through land development right now. So horizontal construction. We are finishing up the stormwater pond, the paving, all that good stuff. And then we'll be erecting 17 units there. These are single family units. they'll range anywhere from about 1,700 square feet up to as high as about 2,400 square feet. We have several elevations available for people to choose from. So those lots have been reserved. We are now looking at working with the buyers on those as far as their selections and things like that. So that will be our, I guess you could say, flagship, development when it comes to this, as far as proof of concept, all of that good stuff. And we're actually in the city of South Fulton ourselves as far as our offices. Everything that we work on is closer to the South Atlanta, Southwest, Southeast Atlanta area, actually Atlanta, like the city of Atlanta. So yeah, we're really excited about that project, and it's kind of our proof of concept.
Yeah. When you say that those are reserved, you've sold all of those already?
The lots, yes.
The lots. Okay. So you've sold the lots. So they all have buyers. So then you'll be working with those individual buyers on their home plans?
Yeah. Well, the lots, they reserve the lots, and then they go through the pre-approval process with our preferred lenders and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So guarantee that they'll make it through that process without underwriting has changed. But assuming that they do, then yeah. But we as mentioned, we kind of keep everything going. We have a great broker that we work with, Keller Williams, in regards to all of the dispositions. So we get a lot of inquiries coming in. And yeah,
That's exciting.
To pre-sell everything before we, even start construction if possible.
Wow.
Well, that's exciting. I mean, there's going to be a full-fledged neighborhood that if people are intrigued by this idea, they can actually go see. It's one thing to go see a house that's stuck somewhere where there's an opportunity to build. Another thing to go see a complete community. I mean, that's going to be that's really neat. And then once that kind of gets established and people start talking about it and seeing it, all of a sudden, boom, there's going to be a sudden, I suspect, dramatic interest. And then you'll start seeing those communities that right now may be resisting just because it's so new. You start seeing, and then the market starts dictating that people are really intrigued by this. Boom, that's where this thing starts really getting exciting.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned you have several different elevations. Are all the home plans the same with different elevations, or are there different plans?
Yeah, we have 3 plans specifically for that development. But we noticed that the interest was heavily into 2 of the plans and mostly into 1. So we created some elevations for that.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that way they don't all look the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'd say probably, if you count the elevations, probably about 8 to 9 different.
Oh, wow. And what's the price range when they're finished? Do you all have a...
They range at the bottom level, $325. At top level, it doesn't seem like it has a ceiling nowadays.
Right.
A lot of buyers want basements, which adds, cost. Also, some have asked for pools and different things like so.
Wow.
They kind of goes up from there, but the goal is, well, we thought it would be more of a minimalist approach, but we're seeing
apparently not. They're going to Mac Daddy their container. Well,
exactly.
When you do when you do a basement with a container, do you actually dig the basement and pour a concrete foundation, or?
So it's the same.
Okay.
Concept or whatnot. Literally, the container is just the frame.
So we think of the container as the lumber, but it's not lumber; it's the container.
Exactly.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's really intriguing. It's going to be fun to see how this evolves. So as we record this, it's approaching summer 2021. So I'm going to ask each of you to comment on this. Looking ahead 1 year's time, so summer 2022, where do you think we're going to be? Where will the market have evolved in this 12 months time?
Wow. Get out your crystal ball.
Yeah. So Elize, I'll put the pressure on you to start. What are your thoughts on where this whole idea, this whole movement is in a year's time?
Well, I am an optimist by nature. So in a year's time, I would anticipate that our developments would be the leader and the standard in sustainable building, not only as it pertains to container homes, but just in the emerging interest in environmental awareness as a whole. So that's my prediction.
Gotcha. Majesty, anything to add?
Yeah, definitely. As far as the market overall, I don't see much changing. I see prices still going up due to just supply and demand issues. As far as us directly, I definitely see sustainable building, green building becoming more of something that standard. Is required almost from buyers, similar to how a lot of interest is moving into sustainable investments and things like that. And even you look at EVs or whatnot. I think I just saw Biden driving that F-150. I thought that was pretty cool. So I think that everything's shifting towards that. So we're happy kind of to be on the front end of that. But as far as the market altogether, I think it's gonna get worse. And unfortunately, just because of the nature of where we are.
Yeah, but it's gonna be fun to watch, and so let's be sure that we.
I was about to say, is it getting worse or is it getting better?
Well, it depends on who's
right.
Exactly.
Well, which side you're on.
Let's be sure that we keep in touch, and let's get you back on the show next year at some point.
Yeah,
we'll be curious to see how things have moved ahead and evolved. So it'll be fun to see how this thing keeps trending. All right.
See how many of these. Yeah, they might have 2 or 3 of these communities finished by then, Todd.
I bet they certainly have 2 or 3 of things started by then.
Yep.
All right, Elize, before we let you guys go, should anyone need to connect with you to kind of just learn more about this, what's possible, any questions that they might have about it, where do they go?
Yeah, you can visit us at evohaven.com, and you can learn all about our sustainable developments and reach out to us through our contact form. And then also, if you're interested in purchasing an Evo Haven, our brokerage's information is there as well. So
all right. Majesty and Elize Gayle, both with Evo Group Holdings. Guys, great to have you. Thanks for carving out a few minutes for us. Good luck with this. We do want to see how things evolve with it, so let's keep in touch, and appreciate you carving out a few minutes for us.
Thank you. Thank you for considering us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Our pleasure. All right. Well, that wraps this week's All About Real Estate edition. On behalf of our show sponsor, New American Funding, my co-host, Carol Morgan, I am Todd Schick. That's all the time that we have today. Thank you for tuning in and listening, and we'll look forward to seeing you again right here tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Atlanta Real Estate Forum Radio is made possible by Denim Marketing, the publisher of Atlanta Real Estate Forum, Atlanta's favorite source for real estate and home building news. Denim Marketing is a comfortable fit, like your favorite pair of jeans. Denim Marketing tailors marketing strategies to meet your specific needs and niche. Try them on for size. They will work to create a perfect fit for your company's marketing program. Call them at 770-383-3360 or send an email to info@denimmarketing.com. For more information on Atlanta Real Estate Forum Radio or to inquire about being a guest, contact info@atlantarealestateforum.com. Check out the radio show by visiting atlantarealestateforum.com or by listening to the show on your favorite podcast app. And if you enjoyed today's broadcast, we'd sure appreciate a rating and review on iTunes. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next time on Atlanta Real Estate Forum Radio.